What if I told you that mercy destroys more men than malice ever could? Most people fail, not because they are weak, but because they refuse to be ruthless when life demands it. Every day, good men destroy themselves in the name of kindness. They tolerate disrespect to keep peace. They forgive betrayal to avoid guilt. They help those who would never help them back. And they call it virtue. It's not virtue. It's fear. Fear of judgment. Fear of rejection. Fear of being called cruel. Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. A leader who hesitates to be harsh loses both power and respect. The world does not honor goodness. It exploits it. When you lead with softness, you invite wolves. When patience is mistaken for peace, parasites feed on your energy. And when you choose to be liked instead of effective, you trade power for pity. Ruthlessness is not destruction, it is preservation. The ability to cut cleanly, to end what must end, to protect your purpose, even when it makes you look heartless. The ruthless don't hate, they decide. They don't shout, they enforce. They don't beg to be understood. They move in silence and let results explain them. By the end of this, you will understand. Ruthlessness is not cruelty, it is clarity. You will learn when to be cold, how to control emotion, and how to draw boundaries that cannot be crossed. Because only the man who dares to look cruel in the moment earns respect that lasts a lifetime. In a world that feeds on weakness, that discipline isn't evil, it is survival. Most men fall not to hatred, but to kindness misplaced. Society tells you to be patient, forgiving, to always see the best in others. Machiavelli knew differently. Kindness without restraint is weakness, dressed as morality. Think about your own life. How often have you said yes when you wanted to say no? How often have you accepted disrespect to avoid conflict? Every one of these moments is a small death, a cut you gave yourself to make someone else comfortable. People rarely destroy you through force. They destroy you through guilt. Stop helping, and they call you cold. Stop explaining, and they call you arrogant. Stop sacrificing, and they call you selfish. The message is simple. You stop serving my comfort. The weak hide manipulation inside morality. They don't steal your energy. They convince you to give it away proudly. The ruthless see through it. Every act of unearned mercy builds a world that feeds on you. You cannot protect the good by rewarding the bad. You cannot build peace by enabling chaos. So you make the cut early, coldly, without apology. The soldier who hesitates in battle dies. The leader who refuses to punish betrayal loses his throne. The man who forgives endlessly becomes invisible. Ruthlessness is the ability to recognize decay and remove it before it spreads. Like a surgeon removing infection to save the body. Like a general sacrificing one position to win the war. You do it because it must be done, not because you enjoy it. Softness is not humanity. True humanity requires strength. You cannot protect anything if you cannot say no. You cannot lead if you cannot confront. You cannot love deeply if you cannot act decisively. The kindest people are often the most exhausted. They carry everyone's burdens and receive nothing in return. The ruthless, they guard their energy like gold. Every act of kindness is deliberate, earned, measured. Stop explaining yourself. Stop giving what isn't yours to give. The first step to power is stopping your own execution. Cruelty is misunderstood. The weak call it evil. The wise call it a tool. Cruelty, applied correctly, is mercy in disguise. The discipline to inflict short-term pain to prevent long-term collapse, Machiavelli called it necessary cruelty. What looks harsh today but preserves order tomorrow. Look at nature. The lion does not apologize for the hunt. The storm does not mourn the weak tree. Nature understands balance. What must die, dies. What is strong survives. Only humans drowning in emotion call this cruel. The ruthless know what nature already does. Mercy without limits breeds corruption. In business, leaders who avoid firing the incompetent lose the competent. In relationships, those who fear confrontation are disrespected. In politics, those who try to please everyone lead no one. Refusing to be firm is not compassion. It is negligence. Cesare Borgia restored order with swift, calculated punishments. People called him brutal. Crime vanished. Order returned. Prosperity followed. Savage cruelty is emotional. Strategic cruelty is rational. One destroys blindly. The other enforces peace through control. When a line is crossed, the strategist acts without hesitation. No threats, no negotiation. Consequences are delivered so clearly they are never tested again. People respect what they fear losing. Excess patience and forgiveness invite contempt. Necessary cruelty restores reality. It is not revenge, it is preservation. Emotional control is vital. Anger is noise. True cruelty is cold, still, surgical. The ruthless act. They move on. To outsiders, heartless. To those who understand power, inevitable. Because necessary cruelty is not about harming others. It is about preventing harm to yourself, and the sooner you learn it, the sooner you stop being a target and become a force. Power begins not with dominance, but with control. Control of yourself, your emotions, your time, your energy. Every empire that fell began with a leader who lost control of one of these. Machiavelli saw power as an ecosystem, rulers, subjects, allies, enemies, held together by perception. Lose perception, lose everything. The ruthless are deliberate in every action, every word, pause, and gesture sends a message. They do not waste movement. They do not seek approval. Most destroy authority by trying to appear harmless. Approachability is not strength. Humility without backbone is invisibility. The ruthless do not shout, but their presence commands attention. Their calm unnerves, signaling knowledge, calculation, control. Power rests on three pillars: perception, distance, consequence. Perception, what people believe about you. Trust is perception, not truth. If they see decisiveness, they act carefully. If they see hesitation, they exploit it. Distance, accessibility diminishes value. Maintain space physically, emotionally, strategically. Curiosity breeds influence. Fear of the unknown enhances respect. Consequence, boundaries must have teeth. A no must be final. Consistency ensures others self-regulate around you. Ruthless leaders do not demand loyalty. They design conditions where disloyalty carries cost. They do not demand respect. They make disrespect dangerous. Power is discipline. The man who masters his impulses will command the impulses of others. The one who controls emotion controls the battlefield. Ruthlessness is structure. It is the architecture of power built through restraint, precision, and silent authority. Every weakness traces back to one thing: attachment. Attachment to approval. Attachment to comfort. Attachment to people who drain you. Machiavelli warned rulers, never depend entirely on the loyalty of others. Dependence is the key to your destruction. Ruthlessness is not aggression, it is detachment, inner freedom that makes you impossible to manipulate. The ruthless walk away from what no longer serves their purpose. They love without worshiping, give without losing, care without clinging. Detachment is not apathy. It is control. Feel, but do not fold. Engage, but do not depend. Peace tied to others' approval is surrender. People give away power easily. One insult ruins them. One rejection shakes them. They are slaves to opinion. The ruthless live differently. Discipline governs emotion. Machiavelli wrote, "A ruler must act against mercy, charity, even humanity when necessity demands it." Detachment creates clarity where hesitation kills, emotion blinds, predictability destroys. The detached man remains unshaken. Start with the ego, the need to be liked, to be right, to prove yourself. Kill the hunger for validation, and judgment becomes sharp. The ruthless fear no loss because nothing owns them. Confidence comes from one thing, self-command. Silence becomes weighty. Presence becomes commanding. Independence is felt. None control you. Detachment is mastery within the world. Remain still while others scramble win through inevitability, not noise. Every act of ruthlessness serves a purpose. The world confuses chaos with strength, aggression with power, cruelty with control. The truly ruthless are precise. They think like surgeons, not butchers. Every move is measured, every risk calculated. Machiavelli taught, "Fortune favors the bold, but only when boldness is guided by reason." The ruthless calculate cost versus reward. They do not flinch when others hesitate. Most play checkers. They react. They respond. They move without foresight. The ruthless play chess. They anticipate, read patterns, sense timing, and manipulate outcomes before anyone realizes the game has begun. Timing is everything. The impatient burns bridges. The fearful never move. The strategist waits, studies, and strikes decisively when the moment is perfect. Distance from emotion is key. Step outside the storm. Ask, if I act now, what is the cost? If I wait, what is the gain? If I fail, what remains? Even compassion becomes a tool. A well-timed act of mercy earns loyalty better than constant kindness. Every action, kind or cruel, serves one master, control. Perception is crucial. Predictable enough to be trusted, mysterious enough to be feared, too transparent invites attack. Too secretive invites rebellion. Machiavelli's princes thrive not through strength, but strategy. Information as weapon, patience as armor. Silence as a trap. Stop revealing your cards. Let others underestimate you. The ruthless win battles before the war begins. They build inevitability. And when the strike comes, it is silent, swift, and decisive. To the ruthless, mercy is not weakness. It is a weapon, a psychological strike disguised as kindness. Mercy can control, buy loyalty, and create debts no one can repay. True power doesn't always demand fear. Sometimes it seduces through restraint. Punish, and people remember the pain. Forgive, and they remember the imbalance. They recall you could have destroyed them, and didn't. That memory enforces silent obedience. Mercy loses power when given freely. Unrestrained kindness feeds opportunists, manipulators, leeches. Mercy must be rare, deliberate, and strategic. It is a reprieve, not a guarantee. It confuses enemies, breaks expectations, and keeps them close. They reveal secrets, guilt, gratitude, more valuable than punishment. Mercy is not peace. It is the pause between wars. The ruthless forgive without forgetting, pardon without trusting, and grant grace without surrendering leverage. Fools forgive out of fear or pity. Rulers forgive from advantage. Mercy used wisely builds empires. Mercy without control destroys kings. Use it sparingly. Deliver it when it amplifies influence. reinforces authority, and reminds others your power does not require cruelty. Because in the hands of the ruthless, mercy is not surrender. It is a statement. I could have ended you, but I chose not to this time. Every ruler, strategist, and ambitious mind wears a mask, the mask of humanity. Power cannot survive on fear alone. It is sustained through the illusion of empathy. To dominate a moralistic world, you must appear human, even when emotion no longer guides your decisions. Machiavelli wrote a prince must learn how not to be good, but he must never appear otherwise. Appearance of virtue often outweighs virtue itself. People don't need you to be good. They need to believe you are. Belief holds empires together. Reality builds them. Naive honesty is dangerous. It earns exposure, not trust. The ruthless reveal only what strengthens perception. Smile when warmth is expected. Listen when sympathy is desired. Forgive when the outcome is already decided. This is diplomacy, not deception. Sincerity, unfiltered, invites resistance. Give comfort, familiarity, and a mirror of morality. Behind the mask, your mind remains sharp. Appearance diverges from intent. Patient, generous, calm, inside, calculating. Duality separates rulers from idealists. Idealists exhaust themselves proving goodness. Rulers let others believe it while securing advantage. A good mask makes power approachable. It protects, transforms, and becomes second nature. Performance becomes reality. Confidence becomes real. Pretending to be untouchable becomes being untouchable. Yet even the ruthless must remove the mask in solitude, not for guilt. To remember direction. Power without reflection becomes tyranny, and tyranny consumes itself. The art. Wear the mask convincingly without losing humanity. Project warmth without letting fire burn you. Wield empathy as a tool, not a chain. Those who appear purely ruthless fall quickly. Those who appear purely good are devoured. The one who wears both faces rules with a mind of steel until he chooses to stop.